Well, hello everyone. Good evening. It's Nick here. Greg will join us in a moment. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully the video looks okay. I'm getting some errors back from YouTube, but hopefully let me know if you can see me okay. And we've got the camcorder working this time. And there's a big hole over here right now. But this is a very bold experiment from us, streaming in two places at one time. And I can see myself on my TV screen back here behind the camera, And it sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Gilbert and Troy. Welcome, Michael. Love Boat vibe from the music. That is the... I must explain what that music is. It is some Price is Right music from 1974. It was cues added to the show in early 1974. Written by the great Ed Kalhoff. It's a name in TV music that if you don't know who he is, he's written a lot of great TV music for a lot of game shows, some commercials. He wrote the theme for Double Dare and Double Dare 1986 and various other things. So anyway, we're just here, just hanging out tonight, just doing a Q&A, you know, not really any specific topic, you know. We just wanted to do a live stream because we enjoyed doing it the last time. We wanted to do it again and just have some fun, you know. And we're gonna have some dinner here in a moment while we talk to you guys. So I hope you guys don't mind if we blah, 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 eat on camera. That's the thing about going live, is that you're susceptible to your tongue being tied, you know. And I feel very lonely in here right now. Greg is back, still working. He's getting ready to go on his lunch break, so he'll be with us for about an hour, and then I'll be with you before and a little bit after and whatever. I'm actually going to be on another video chat tonight, a Zoom chat. A good friend of ours has been doing some game shows online to help get everyone through this time that we're in. And we're going to play Deal or No Deal tonight. So I joined them a week ago, and we were playing the box home game of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is back on ABC right now for its 20th anniversary. God, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years since that show debuted here in America. 1999. A little over 20 years, as a matter of fact. Picture and sound are good. Looks good. Thank you. Oh, Gil's making fried chicken. Oh, that is ironic, because what we have to eat tonight is some popcorn chicken bites from Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, they are not sponsoring this video. That's what I decided to come up with, you know. Fried chicken is one of my favorite foods, you know, and being from the South, you know, that's just the thing. Fried chicken is a thing in the South. It's a thing really all over. But, excuse me. But let me scoot over here a little more to the center to make their shot look better. But I am probably Colonel Sanders' long-lost 8th cousin. Not really. No, I don't have the secret of the 11 herbs and spices. Thank you. Loved the video on all the games. That video seems to be doing really well. I mean, since we put it up last week, and we've gotten a lot of great comments on that video, and we plan to do more soon in the future. You know, yeah, Kentucky Fried. Forgive me, Gilbert and Troy. Where exactly do you live? Please do remind me, because my memory is crap these days. I can't remember hardly anything. I see Greg out of the corner of my eye coming through the kitchen. He's not ready to make his on-camera appearance yet. So just ask any questions you want, make any statements you want. If you're commenting on Facebook, we'll get to you in just a moment. Greg's gonna get over here and get onto his laptop and take a look at the Facebook comments and any questions that we may get over there. And he's gonna bring the dinner in also. Yes, he's gonna go right in front of the camera, because we don't have all... There's a wall over here, you know, so you cannot come in from the other side. And here's Greg, everyone. Hey, we're together again. We weren't really apart. He was just in the other room, you know. Just south of Indianapolis. That's one metro area of many that we've not been to. I don't know. Would you like to visit Chicago or area someday? I know Indianapolis is not Chicago, but But I've never tried these popcorn bites before. I just saw them on their menu and figured we would try. You see, here's Colonel Sanders. Ooh, this box is very wet because I got these about 25 minutes ago. I had to get them obviously before I could get home and set up all the equipment for the live stream. Let's see. Oh, gotta make room here so you can set your laptop up here. But here are all the chicken bites. You can see them real good. I got a real good viewfinder here on my laptop. Love the city of Indy. I don't know what is the claim to fame of Indianapolis besides the Motor Speedway. I'll take that one off the table because obviously I know of that one. Let me set this microphone back just a little bit so we have some room here. We can have our own dipping sauce. Got some dipping sauces here. This is kind of an unofficial mukbang. You know, we've never done a mukbang on this. Well, we've eaten food on this channel before. I mean, that's nothing new, but we've never done a full-on mukbang. There's Irish ND31. Hello, my friends. Been a while. Great seeing you both. I think I know who you are. Remember your avatar. So, great. Who normally wins when you and Greg play board games? That varies. You know, you win sometimes, I win sometimes. I mean, I think it's pretty even, you know. But I will say we played Cards Against Humanity for the first time last week. Pardon me for talking with my mouthful, and you won. Mm-hmm. And that was a great game. What was that series of cards that came up?
I don't remember.
I think it's in my Instagram stuff. That let's see here. As if I still have it set that way. Well, actually, I don't. Oh well. But it was something. It was cards that saying, "Cards Against Humanity makes you sell crack to children on the street."
Something to that effect.
Something to that effect. And that's how sick and twisted that particular Greg game is. Are you sick and twisted?
I hope not.
I host a lot of conventions and the crossroads of the United States. Nice downtown area. Well, a lot of major cities have a lot of crossroads, you know, because you have the interstate highways and the U.S. highways and whatnot. Just answer something for me quality-wise. Is our audio in sync with the video? That's the only thing that I'm worried about having a sync for. I think it's okay, though. Great seeing you both. Thank you. It's great to see you, too. And, oh, yeah, I remember who you are, Matt. I remember you commenting on a lot of our videos. It's glad to have you here. It's glad to have everybody here, even if you're commenting or not. And we should be live on Facebook as well. So if you're watching us on Facebook, please do make a comment. Whatever, let us know you're here. Greg is watching Facebook on his laptop. I've got the YouTube chat up on our monitor behind the camera in sync. Good. Excellent. You know, just for Matt, since you weren't with the last live we did a couple weeks ago, we had to use my laptop camera because we're using our camcorder now, and I'm not using anything in the laptop. I'm not using that camera. I'm not using the mic in the camera. Although we may do this on YouTube only going forward because it's eating up a lot of our bandwidth just to try to do both. So we may do it only on YouTube going forward, you know.
Yeah, we don't really have any viewers on Facebook right now.
All right, so we may not go all the way on Facebook. We may end the Facebook a little early, just to kind of step up the quality on YouTube a bit, you know. Besides, you want everyone to gather in one place anyway, more than likely. Or at least, these popcorn bites are really good, you know. I mean, it's nice snacky food. We also have something else that Greg made last night. It was a brand new recipe that he found online, actually on another YouTube channel.
Yeah, and then it kind of went viral after that.
It did? I did not know.
It went viral.
How many places did you see it in?
Oh, well, there's a huge Reddit thread. The Today Show picked it up. Fox News picked it up.
You're talking about that channel we've been watching, right?
Yeah. That one particular recipe went viral.
I don't understand how. Well, what it is, it's just peanut butter bread. Is all it is. You know, and I don't think it's anything really revolutionary. It was out of a cookbook.
Yeah, that cookbook from the Depression.
Yeah, this particular channel, he just does recipes from Depression era cookbooks, and that really is interesting right now because we're not exactly in a depression. We're probably heading into a recession right now, economically speaking. We're not going to get into an economics debate here or the state of the world or anything. You've heard enough about it in other places. But it's interesting because you have to make something out of what you have in the kitchen, you know. And that's what Depression era cookbooks were, period, you know. Anything you want to add?
No. The recipe turned out fairly good, I thought.
Well, I was looking for more of a peanut butter taste out of it. I mean,
well,
hold on. We will show you. It's right here. We'll show you the results. I mean, this is what it looks like. I mean, I don't know how well. Oh, you can see that real good on the camera there. This is the peanut butter bread we ended up with. It's got saran wrap on it, so I'm not going to spill it or anything. Lets you see that a little closer to camera. You know, it's just a nice bread, and it looks nice. Matt, we'll get to your questions in just a moment. What else can I say? I mean, we tried a little bit of it last night.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's a little firmer now than it was last night. You know, we may try a little bit of it later in this live stream. So let me set this back over here. But Greg, you love to find new things for us in the kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that bread looks great. Okay, let's see. Let's get back to Matt's question here. Your number one favorite vacation spot? You know, I've given up carbs. It's hard to avoid carbs, you know. Carbohydrates are in so many things. There are probably a lot of carbohydrates in this chicken, you know. But number one favorite vacation spot? Well, we've been to New York City a lot of times, as you've seen on the vlog. We would love to go back to LA again. We weren't vlogging then. Someday. And like we said in the last chat, we were supposed to be in Savannah for our wedding anniversary, but we might do that again later in the year if things improve, you know, and that's a big if, given the way things are going. Because at midnight tonight, the stay-at-home order here expires. And both of us are just, and a lot of people are just flat worried what's going to happen.
Does that mean everything's going to open back up?
I don't think everything, no, everything's not going to open back up. The bars and the nightclubs are still going to be closed.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I thought that was just for now. I thought that...
For now. I mean not tonight. I thought you meant tonight.
Oh.
well, not everything's going to be open, but the wishy-washy governor we have is only extending the stay-in-place order for the medically fragile and the chronically ill, the elderly, all of that, extending it for a few more weeks, but just for them, not for everybody. And that is not enough. That is not enough. I mean, it's scary down here. I mean, we're not going to change what we're doing. Greg still is working from home. I'm still only going to work and doing necessary things. Do you hear that outside?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a right back there behind that wall. There's like a playground area, and I think the kids are screaming. Either that, or it's a pack of dogs that have gotten loose, and we don't know of any dogs here. Well, I know there are dogs here, but they don't make noise. Okay, back to that. Somewhere you remember as being special, and why you give me the bucket list vacation spot you look forward to going someday. Well, we would love to go to London someday, and see around not just London, but all of the UK. We would love to do a tour, and see things. We would love to visit some of our friends we've made over there. We would love to visit Lloyd and Cam and Andy. And, well, Liam Lewis lives in China now. He doesn't live in UK anymore. I don't think we're going to China anytime soon. No, we don't want to go there. No. That's really the biggest one we want to go to. We want to visit Canada someday. We'd love to go visit like Niagara Falls or Toronto or Montreal or maybe Vancouver. All those major metropolises. And I mean, the list is just open-ended. Oh, they had to. Did you see that? They had to. Gilbert and Troy were going to leave for Puerto Vallarta on May 8th, and they had to cancel. Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. It's now we know how you feel. I mean, we had a small trip planned. We're going to drive, but we have Airbnb credit. We have to until the end of next year to use. So, but the good thing about that is that there was a emergency fund set up by Airbnb for the renters to get something out of it as well, because when people have to cancel, because this wasn't their fault either. Yeah, don't rush out too quickly. Gil is off for at last one more week. Now, I don't have any time off coming till the end of June, I think, is what we... Yeah. I'm actually working an extra day next week, just someone on vacation, it would normally happen when my manager asked me, do you want some overtime? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll work an extra day. We could use some extra money, Overtime is good. Have you decided what to do with your hair? I have not. I have... Oh, Andy's here! Oh! Hi, Andy! Hi! Good to see you. It's been ages. And... well, as I said, I'll just go back and repeat it. Oh, no, you heard it. You joined just before you mentioned your name. We were just naming destinations we'd love to go. We would love to come visit you someday. If we ever get to any sense of normalcy in the world again.
Neither one of us has ever been out of the country before.
No, I mean we don't have passports. I mean they're easy enough to get, but I mean who knows? Hopefully Expedia will be giving us our money back. Some have had some trouble. Yeah, I can imagine. I would imagine a company like Expedia, which is owned by Microsoft, is it not?
I don't think so.
Are they? I may be thinking of something else. We'll see what happens. We are doing well. We're doing okay. Answering the second half of Andy's question. We've been hanging in there. We've been in isolation since the middle of March. Greg's been working from home every day. Only been going out to go to the grocery store. And I've been driving to work and coming straight back, and I've been limiting my exposure, and we've been playing it very, very, very smart, and we're doing okay. You know, we've been wearing masks, and the extent of any other time we've went out is just to go driving around and limiting how much we get out of the car, and they're only wanting to. They were wanting to only offer vouchers, but you can't be sure we can go in the future.
Yeah, Airbnb wouldn't give us a refund, but they gave us credit that we can use through the end of next year. So surely we can find a way to use that.
Yes, I'm. Yeah, we will use it. I mean, we'll get past all of this. You know, even if we don't go anywhere this year, I'm sure we can use it next year, definitely, because we would love to. Hopefully go to LA again or go to New York City again, you know, whatever we can do, but that credit can help us and whatever we decide to do. I mean, I wonder if the airlines are going to survive all of this. I mean, I don't know. Let's not get into that debate. That's not why we're here. Hello, Saul. Nice to see you. Good to have you here. Working from home, I know how that feels. We've both been in lockdown since the middle of March. Yeah, so, yeah, I imagine. I saw some funny pictures from the UK. I don't know if you saw them or not. And the word "you" is appropriate. That sheep were outside of a closed McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
The livestock are starting to roam around into places they wouldn't ordinarily go. I mean, they're livestock. I mean, they're just animals. It's like, like you're in the wrong place. You better get out of there, because you never know when they're going to open back up. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I think no one is. I don't think. Are we having anyone watching on Facebook right now?
We have 2 viewers right now.
2 viewers. Okay, so we're justifying continuing the Facebook stream. We're streaming in 2 places at once. So if the quality is a little iffy here on YouTube, we are really pushing our upload bandwidth to the limit. Although I think maybe in the future we're just going to keep it to strictly YouTube. This is an experiment more than anything else, you know. I mean, we had to trick our software that we use to export the stream in order to get it to do 2 streams at once. We're actually using a recording function as an upload function or whatnot for the YouTube side of things, you know. We're doing Saul. We're doing okay. We're hanging in there. As you see, we have a cold, wet nose and all that. Do you use special software to stream? No, we use just a free piece of software called OBS Studio. It's completely free and open source software. You can just Google it and go download it, and it is just a lot of Twitch users use it to do all sorts of things. It could do so much more than what we're using it for. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of, if you're familiar with the website Twitch, it's where a lot of people play games and stream the games, and they can put themselves in a box, and they have like chroma key green behind them, and put themselves in the game, and just like in a corner of the screen or whatever, and just chat, and it's all sorts of stuff. Our good friend Game Master Herb, him and his 2 husbands, do have a channel called 3 Bears Gaming, GAYMING, and they do that over on Twitch, and I drop in every so often. Okay, you just downloaded it but haven't tried it yet. It should be rather easy to figure out. I mean, do read the help before you proceed with it. It's just, if you've used any kind of like editing software before, you know about how things are in layers and whatnot, and well, it has scenes and sources, so you can put together a whole bunch of sources in a scene and go back and forth from scene to scene and whatnot. Like I never have really used it, but I can do this. I can take you to Chrome full, and there that is. There is the chat and whatnot. Let me get back before it gets to Windows and all that. I can do boxes, which I don't want to show that off yet. That's for a future live stream. You wouldn't. How's that look in preview? Yeah. Oh, well, fuck it. I'll show you this. We have this for the future. Yes. When we get to a point with Drag Race, we're going to have Josh Willis in the other box as our guest again. And he's going to participate with us via Skype. Yes. So there's that. It's all sorts of neat, you know. And don't worry, that errant corner of video you saw, that will be covered up by his video. Of course, we don't have anyone on Skype right now. We can have anyone come in via Skype, you know. A hush falls over the crowd. You know, I spit out 1,000 words to Greg's 8 words. So what I want to ask Greg a question. How tough has it been dealing with the news lately with all of this going on?
Yeah, it's been a lot more. It's been a lot more work. It's been a lot more stress. But I've gotten through it.
I mean, do you ever feel like it's just like so much collapsing in on you or anything, or your colleagues or anything like that?
Not really.
You see, Greg is great at what he does, and I cannot believe that so many places passed on hiring him for as long as it took for Greg to get hired here, you know. I mean, but you're glad a couple places passed on you. I mean, no details, no tea, no shade, you know. Okay, what did you think of Celebrity Drag Race?
It was interesting.
It was interesting, but I'm sad that they had 3 other former queens in the room and that did the makeup. Who was it? Chanel was one of them.
Chanel, Mayhem Miller, and Layla McQueen.
Yeah, and they cut all of it out. You know? Which I understand that you have to make edits for time. But if you have 3 other Drag Race alumna in the room, I mean, come on. How can you cut them out? I mean, especially Chanel and Mayhem Miller, who Mayhem Miller is rumored to be on All Stars 5. You know? I mean, it's okay. It's only 4 shows, and there are 3 more to go. And Andy, if you're still here, I do not know when it's airing over there. I don't know if you guys are getting season 12 right now or not. You probably are. I mean, I don't know who airs Drag Race over there.
It's on Netflix in the UK.
Netflix in the UK, but who airs it on television?
Nobody.
Nobody airs it on television.
Not season 12.
Interesting. I did not know that.
It's only on Netflix.
Well, the big thing over here is that they're moving All Stars 5 from VH1 to Showtime, a pay TV service. And a lot of people are not happy about that. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to subscribe to Showtime now? I mean, Showtime, the cost of it varies depending on your cable provider. But it's like probably an extra like $12 or so a month. We're not doing that. Yes, we will download it. Your son is addicted to Celebrity Drag Race. Just Celebrity or just the whole thing? You know, because Celebrity Drag Race is brand new and RuPaul's Drag Race has been around for a long time. We've been binging the back seasons, and we watched. We've got a pretty good sampling of. We watched all of 1. We watched pretty much all of 2, 3, and 4, and we got 5 through 9 out of the way because we started watching season 10 the first time. Now we're on All Stars 2. We're almost done with that. and we still got All Stars 3 to go, and then we're caught up. We're completely caught up. Well, we haven't watched Drag You.
Yeah, I've not been able to figure out where to watch that anyway. So.
Yeah, we may go back and watch that the whole thing. Okay, at some point in the future. Thank you, Game Show Fan 2001. It's a long time collection of board games. Greg had a lot. I've never had a lot of board games. That was really Greg's thing when we first merged our stuff together. And you, how many did you have when we met?
Not that many.
So you've gotten a lot over the years. It's really grown by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it really grew until after we moved in together 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Because you started going to used bookstores a lot.
Yeah, I'll be glad to start going back to thrift stores again when everything opens back up.
Oh, yeah. But be careful, wear your mask if you need to. I think you should wear your mask a lot of the time anyway, because you never know. You never know anymore. You can't take chances.
I just see that question there. When things are back to normal, where's the first place we'll go together?
I'm hammering a 12er of Miller Lite pints and 20 wings at the local bar. Well, we have Diet Mountain Dew and KFC popcorn bites. So,
well,
at least takeout is still there.
Let's see, where's the first place we're going to go together when
we're going to go together. Nowhere special, probably. Probably the Mexican restaurant down the street. Because we like to keep it close by. We love to support our local economy, whether it be a fast food place or a local restaurant or something like that. The best restaurants you can find are your local restaurants, because it's your local flavor, and you have great, honest, hardworking people, hardworking business people, just trying to just give you a good time. How can you go wrong? The food could be terrible, but no, that doesn't happen that often. Because if the food's terrible, the place isn't going to stay in business. Everybody, but that's a rarity in my travels. Let's see. We're all experiencing the streaming wars. I only need Netflix and HBO, not Quibi. I've not looked at Quibi. I know what it is. I know. When you're students of media and media history, like we are, after all, we both went through. As you know from, if you've seen our story of how we met, we both had the same major in college, mass communications. You know the name Jeffrey Katzenberg. You know how big he is, how he was with Paramount, and then went and launched DreamWorks, and is now trying this thing. Gilbert supports the Mexican restaurant comment. LOL. We actually have two great Mexican restaurants in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We have Monterey, and we have Eduardo's down by Kroger. They're both pretty good. We switch it up and go to either one. Most of the time, they both have the nicest staff, and they're still open during this time. We need to get some takeout from either or the other at some point in the future. Could do that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we have a set pattern to our week. Usually on Wednesday or Thursday night we'll get takeout. Because I'm off of work and I can go get it. And on Saturday afternoon, we'll do that for lunch, as we'll get some takeout as well. Just a couple times a week. We cook at home most of the other times. It can tend to vary depending on if we feel like he's Mexican. For those who didn't know, I somehow got that impression. Mexican sounds great. We had Mexican for lunch today. We had just had some soft tacos. Greg just fries a pound of beef, and then we just have some cheese and sour cream and salsa. And we just make them over there on the table. It's not anything really complex. Lunch for us is usually a fast affair.
Yeah, throw some sandwiches together, salad or something quick.
Something very low maintenance. But Greg can cook a good meal, and he loves being in the kitchen. And it's by his choice.
I like cooking. I don't know how to cook a whole lot of things, but I like cooking.
Oh, you know how to cook a whole lot of things. You can read a recipe and transform it. Look at our award-winning chili recipe. That started as an internet recipe, and we made some modifications to it, and it ended up winning a landslide victory at our former place of employment. It ran away with the competition. I do not know why it was so successful. I didn't expect that to happen. I still am shocked. Like almost 3 years later, I'm still shocked at that.
It had the right amount of flavor and the right amount of spices.
There you are. How's the weather down there? Been rough lately, I think. It's been kind of a little bit of an overcast day today. It's been in the 60s, It rained yesterday. A cold front came through. About a week and a half ago, there was some bad tornadoes that came through just to the south of us and to the north of us. We were right in between it. I do not know right offhand if anyone died or not, but there's Rich and Jason. Hello, Rich and Jason.
Cauliflower tacos.
Cauliflower tacos.
Mm-hmm. It's like making a shell out of cauliflower.
Can you get them pre-made like that?
Probably.
That's an interesting suggestion.
Might be healthier.
Yes, we're always looking for ways to make it. We're not exactly having the healthiest dinner right now. I have to grab something quick.
Just quick and
yeah. Greg equals top chef. I don't know about that. That's quite a compliment you paid us there, Matt. Just joining in, lost track of the time. That's okay. We still have plenty of time here. Hello all. Yeah. It is.
We have one viewer on Facebook, and it's probably me.
All right, so we're going to close down the Facebook side. So if you're watching on Facebook, go over to our YouTube channel. We're not ending the stream here on YouTube. I'm just going to end it over on Facebook. Okay. All right. So join us over on YouTube. This ends the stream on Facebook only. Okay. Okay. So the stream is stopped over on Facebook. Okay. So we are still streaming on YouTube. All right. So hopefully that'll increase the bandwidth just a little bit, and hopefully it'll look just a little bit better. Right? Okay. All right. You can do pre-made, I'm sure. Mine have a kick to them. Well, Greg can't handle a lot of spices. So, of course, you can make them to your flavor, I'm sure there are... I'm trying to find the word for it. There are devices out there that let you make your own, or you can make your own from. We watched a video on how to make your own tortillas from certain elements. From like bacon fat, not bacon fat, just fat. Well, they call it. We subscribe to this cooking channel. They're Canadian, and they use different terms. Yeah, see, I knew it. The video improved. So, okay, we're not going to do the Facebook thing again. YouTube is where it's at, and that's where it's going to stay. All right. So, it's just an experiment. We watch. There's just this channel that we watch. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. YouTube. I'm trying to surf and look at the TV monitor behind Where's my mouse? There it is. Subscriptions. Where is this channel? Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Okay, and I could... Okay, here we are. Alright, this is the channel I'm talking about. Glennon Friends Cooking. I mean, 301,000 subscribers. That's a lot.
Well, that's the one that had the viral peanut butter bread recipe. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so that explains that, you know. Let me get back over here into the chat. I kind of lost you guys there for a moment. There we go. Okay. All right. We have 7 concurrent viewers now, so we're going up. I can do pre-made. Read that. Oh wow, your video improved. Thank you. Hopefully we didn't lose you. Let us know if we're still visible. Hopefully you guys won't go to sleep on us. I'm gonna have another popcorn bite. These things are cold now. Yep. I had to pick these things up at like 6:30, you know, to get back here, get all the equipment set up in time. Oh, good. We got excellent connection now. Oh. Error. Unsupported. Whatever. I don't know. I think it's just because we're having to do it backwards, but we'll live with it.
Yeah. As long as people can see us.
Right. Just someone say something. Let us know we're still here. Oh, no. God, Saul. Well, Greg's trying to keep abreast of things.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going to have to jump back into work.
I wish this video was sponsored by Mountain Dew. I would tell them how much I enjoy it. Again, this is exactly cold. I bought it a few hours ago at a convenience store. I'm sorry?
You wear your mask in the convenience store?
I did. Ooh. That's my husband being a husband. You know, he loves me and cares about me. Yes, but the thing is, when we were using a couple of bandanas we had laying around at first, and then your company has been sending various items like hand sanitizer, and they sent a couple of great cloth masks, the big, nice ones, you know.
I'd actually make some alterations to mine because it was too big for my face.
Which is good for me because I have a big mouth and face as it is, you know. But the thing is with me is that when I put it on and exhale through my nose, or the exhale of my breath comes up and starts fogging up my glasses, and I can't be the only one that has that problem, you know. Well, if I feel like I need to, I'll just take my glasses off and do this with them real quick, you know, while I'm out and about, because I don't have to have my glasses really on to see things. I just have astigmatism in my eyes. It's just from looking at monitors all the time, you know. So there. Rich made a Mountain Dew cake once. Ooh. You see, Rich is... I hopefully will have more Shit Rich Cooks videos coming in the future, because I live for Rich's cooking videos, you know. It's just I love Rich's demeanor so much, you know. I would just let so help me, if Rich is listening to this, I will give you a big old hug the first time I see you sometime in the future, you know. Let's see.
So can you leave work for the night after listening to emails, phone calls all the time? When I'm off the clock, I don't have to think about work. It's just I'm just on a little dinner break right now. So.
Yeah, and you're on a set schedule from 2 to 11.
And when I try to make it a point to not pay attention to work email or anything when I'm not getting paid to do so.
I need to learn that lesson, but then again, I like to check my email work once or twice, or work email, but once or twice before I go to work in case there's something coming up that will affect me later in the day. Because a lot of what I do in my job, as I've explained before, is I deal with operating a lot of TV stations programming, and some days I have to ingest the programming, which is to bring all the programs in, syndicated programs, and sometimes local programs that will air on the various stations. And if there's a delay that's going to throw something off later in my schedule of stuff to come in, I want to know about it beforehand. But usually it'll be passed down to me. I mean, it's not like I have to know about it, but I just have a good work ethic of trying to stay ahead. You have to pinch it on your nose tighter. You see, I didn't think of that. I'll give that a try. I mean, Geeky Panda, greetings from Turkey. Hope you guys are safe. Nice to have you here, Geeky Panda. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we are good. We are safe. We're a month and a half into all this now here, and we're going to continue to be safe no matter what of our crazy leaders try to do here.
At least I won't say at least our mayor has some sense, but she's not our mayor because we're not in the city. But at least the mayor of Atlanta has some sense.
Not yet, anyway. I mean, without going into too much detail, we want to later this year hopefully move down into the actual city of Atlanta to live.
When our lease is up here, we'd like to move closer to the city, but we'll see how everything works out later this year.
Right, and it's not that we live in a bad place,
No,
not at all.
We just feel like we're just a tiny bit too far away from things, and B, it's a nice apartment complex, but it's a little low end, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there are worse places to live, that's for sure, but there are better places to live, that's for sure. But no matter what, let us not end up with neighbors that are rednecks. Please. If we know anything from the experience of our friends here. Jason can cook. Oh! Jason, you are welcome to be a guest in Greg's kitchen anytime. We could do a Zoom conference edition of Greg's kitchen. No, let's not do that. I mean, cooking remotely, I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall for ideas now, aren't I? So you get your glasses closer to the tip of your nose. Oh, could do that. Oh, that's another great idea. Okay, did you see that interview with the mayor of Las Vegas? I heard about it.
Was that the Anderson Cooper one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how Anderson Cooper kept his cool for so long.
Anderson Cooper was face palming a lot. Now, I must explain, we don't live in a bad place as kids scream for mercy outside. They were just playing out there. There's just a normal playground back there, They were just kids being kids. I mean, we were joking, of course. You know that. Looking forward to a moving vlog then. Now, the moving vlog for that is going to be a lot less emotional than the ones where we went through the whole ordeal of getting our stuff here, and I swear that is one of a few times I've ugly cried on this channel over the almost 3 years we've been doing this. So, you believe it's it's just a little over 2.5 years since we started doing this channel.
Doesn't seem that long.
And I know our output slowed in the last
Yeah.
little bit, but that's okay.
Life happens.
Life happens, and look very dignified with your glasses down to your nose.
Look like a librarian.
Oh, I'm not going to be that librarian from Family Guy, I can't think of any quotes off the top of my head. You know what a fly with no wings is? A walk. Yeah, no wonder the librarian can't get a date. Oh, the mouth of this one. I don't know. It was a Family Guy episode from last Sunday. We rarely ever watch a tidal wave of emotions. Hey, it still could happen, I mean, it's one thing to move away from a house you've been living in for, at that point, we'd been living there for 7 years. Just a little over 7 years. 7 years and a month. And I didn't think that I was going to get so emotional the way I did at the end of that video. But I did. But really, it was a lot of culmination of a lot of feelings, and I'm trying not to get a little emotional right now. It's okay though, but I don't know. I'm a very sentimental person. I'm just going to move on. That's all I can do. I'm at a loss for words. I make a lot of vegan dishes, though. I'm not vegan, but I enjoy cooking healthy. Well,
yeah, I'm trying to learn to cook and eat healthier, so as my stomach growls.
I thought haven't you had enough to eat?
I did. Now it's moving.
We're going to have to get the super sensitive microphone or something. We don't have one. Or hook up a microphone and hold it up to your stomach. There's an interesting little bit of Star Trek trivia. If you like this is Star Trek The Next Generation I'm referring to. There's a great episode in the 3rd season called Tin Man, which are inside this spaceship Gamutu, who is alive, and the sounds inside the spaceship. They fed a guy a bunch of pizza and held a microphone up to his stomach, and it was the sounds of him digesting the pizza. But it worked, I think they put a couple of audio effects on it, and there you were.
Gilbert and Troy asked, are you guys late night owls or early birds?
We're trying to become early birds, but we've been late night owls for the longest time.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
I mean, we've been trying. I mean, it's tough when you work 2 to 11, I work 3 to 11. It's tough to wind down at like midnight, 1 o'clock, when you want to keep up with things that are going on and watch shows and whatever. I'm here. Hopefully I haven't missed too much. Well, we've only been on for 54 minutes. Hopefully it hasn't been asked. We have not watched that episode of The Money Maze that turned up today.
We should.
Yeah, because that is... there are a lot of game shows. For those of you who are not game show inclined in the room, there are a lot of game shows from, let's say, the mid-'80s and earlier that do not have a lot of episodes that exist.
Videotapes were expensive. They thought game shows were expendable, so they erased the tapes and used them over again.
The same for all of daytime television programming.
Soap operas were the same for a long time.
I mean, we should be lucky all but one episode of Dark Shadows exists in any form, But that's another story for another day. Do you believe being a morning night person is hardwired or learned? Well, those 5 months I had to work overnight on my current job were complete and utter hell. And we were having a discussion about this because Cherie, who I work with, is now on our shift. She was on the overnight, just like I was, and she was complaining about the same thing that I complained about how you just could not get used to it. And she was so glad to be on those hours. And I said, honey, I feel you. Definitely. Yeah. Never say good morning to Jason. I mean, we watched that morning routine video you guys did, and we could do one of those, but it's not a lot to see, you know. I mean, morning for us is just laying in bed for like 30 minutes to an hour.
It's usually you spending an hour telling me to get out of the bed.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Get out of bed, Greg. I never threatened to like pour a bucket of cold water on him or anything because I don't want to have him do the laundry every day, the bed sheets. But, getting you out of bed is like an episode of drama, sort of. 10 new Woolery. I cannot say that. Woolery Wheel episodes.
Yeah.
Again, for the game show Uninclined in the audience, Wheel of Fortune has been on in one form or another since January 1975 on television, and Chuck Woolery hosted it from the beginning until Christmas of 1981.
And most of his shows were erased.
And most of the early run of Pat Sajak on the NBC daytime era have been erased. And a few of the syndicated episodes are missing too. Are they not?
I'm not sure. I'm
not sure about that, but definitely a good bit of his daytime run is gone. I mean, and so is the 80s Sale of the Century, which was on at the same time on the same network, you know. I mean, we don't know what's out there in terms of what exists and what does not, or what does exist and what does not exist. I mean, there are a lot, I am convinced there are a lot of tapes out there of daytime TV shows that are either uncatalogued and gathering dust and rotting away in a vault somewhere, you know, and they need to be preserved. We've added embellishments. Oh, of course you did. I mean, that's fine. It made for an entertaining video. It really did. I recommend everyone here who has not seen it go over to Rich and Jason's channel and watch the morning routine video they did. And I have to profess to something, you know. I I didn't mind seeing Jason in a towel. I'm just gonna say that. Jason, sorry. Richard's gonna come through the live stream and just slap me in the face. Oh, anyway. If Dark Shadows was rebooted again, it would be a bad CW teen show like Riverdale. Now, on the contrary, I will say it very well could be... it very well could end up like that. But, no. It's cringeworthy, but thanks. Dan Curtis's offspring, let's just say that, are involved with this project because the Dan Curtis estate still owns the show. Do they still own the show?
I guess technically.
Technically they do, because Dan Curtis Productions licenses the home video rights to NPI for them to use, for them to release it on home video. That's the way it's been since the late 80s. You know, and Jim Pearson works for Dan Curtis's estate as kind of the gatekeeper of the series. And he's involved with the audio dramas with Big Finish and all of that. And we're getting off way on a tangent here.
Wasn't Pearson looking for missing Dark Shadows tapes and all those Hollywood Squares tapes turned up?
Yes, that is correct. That is absolutely right. He was looking for any videotape masters of... There, of course, is one lost episode, number 1219, and a few that only exist on Kinescope. It would be nice to find, especially the ones after the show went to color, episode 295, to upgrade them from black and white to color, and any of the few that are on Kinescope from the black and white days, upgrade them to a videotape as well. But he ended up turning up a lot of Hollywood Squares episodes that were thought lost from the 70s, and those were all saved, and a lot of them aired on Game Show Network a long time ago, So you never know what you'll accidentally find. Of course, there's all those Joker's Wild CBS episodes that turned up too. We all thought was the first couple of years of that was gone too. Then they turned up. I still don't know where exactly. But that's another story for another day.
My lunch hour is over.
Okay, so Greg's going to leave us now. He's got to go back to work.
Bye.
Bye.
I got to go back to work.
Yes, but I'm going to stay here with you and answer and just hang out however long we need. I'm probably going to be gone by 8:30-ish. I don't care to hang around that long, Rich has said he also doesn't mind singing. Well, I should hope not. I should hope so. Gosh. Nudity and controversy are people magnets. That's why we always are. We try to have a little bit of modesty on our channel. Not saying that there's anything wrong with nudity. All that I don't mind it whatsoever. But I don't have the best body in the world. So I don't want to make things gross and disgusting, I say that as I'm eating on camera and I'm talking with my mouth full. Yeah, I'm one to really talk, aren't I? Hello, Jacob. Nice of you to come by. You just missed Greg. He was here. He had to go back to work. He was here for an hour. PG-13. Yeah, well, I would say a hard PG-13. I don't care if we cuss. I'll jokingly bleep something out sometimes, I cuss like a sailor. I won't hide from that fact. Inserts any Jake or Logan Paul controversy. Oh, they are the worst. Thanks to those idiots, especially Logan Paul or Jake Paul or whoever it was that did the video in the forest. They made it so much harder for all us people here on YouTube to get any hope of monetizing because they raised the standards so damn high. Oh, I'm not going to get started because I'll get all of us riled up. Upcoming video ideas. Well, we have a couple. We have a couple of recipes that we're going to do for Greg's Kitchen. And I always have one or two ideas playing around in my mind, but I don't want to disclose what they are or what they're going to be. Just because I don't like to announce a video till it's done, I rather keep the ideas just in my mind because, an idea could go south and turn into nothing, and you don't want to play up something and promise something when it doesn't happen, I'm very cautious when it comes to that sort of thing, Excuse me. I'm glad you loved the board game video. That came off an idea from the last live chat, So that was a great idea. And then we had someone else ask about the electronic games that Greg has. Oh, my body is on fire. Someone put it out quick. Oh, thank you. I've shown skin in certain places. I will freely admit I have a personal Instagram called Nick in the ATL, and you can add me there. And I've I've tried to be a little less modest and be a little more showy of my body, you know, because I'm encouraged and emboldened and empowered by what I see from other people on Instagram, you know. And I know Instagram has its yes, that was you. Yeah, that was right. To be proud of who I am. And of course, I wanna lose some weight just for health reasons, you know, and I do plan to start trying that in the future. Saul brings up a good point. When the next best picture, or was it the best video? I missed those. Yeah, I need to get back to that because we have several movies that I could do right away. And actually, there's another one I need to buy, actually, that's on sale. I also have ordered another rare movie from the 80s that hasn't shipped yet. I'm not... Well, I will say so much. If there's anyone in the audience who has watched American Dad, the great cartoon by Seth MacFarlane, they did a great episode of mine. It was actually the second of a two-parter called Son of Steve, in which Stan Smith clones Steve and makes him Steve-arino and puts him in military school, and he ends up going all psychotic and whatnot. There are lots of references to an 80s BMX movie called Rad, and I had known about that movie prior to that. And that movie is coming out on Blu-ray finally. It was only on a very hard to find VHS for very many years, and a company is coming out with it on Blu-ray, and I pre-ordered that sucker because it's only like 500 copies, and I jumped on it immediately. I'm like, I've always wanted to see this movie. This is going to be my best chance to get it. So I'm going to have a copy of that, and I probably am going to do a review of it for this channel. So stay tuned. There's a video idea for you. That won't be for probably a month or two down the road because I don't think it started shipping yet. I have to go look that up. I have the email bookmarked in my Gmail. But okay, let's get back to some of these questions. Jacob says, isn't it wild that protesters are attacking donors and nurses? Yeah. There are a lot of lame-brain idiots in the world, these protesters. And I use that term very, very loosely. They're not protesters, they're idiots. These idiots. I have no words. I mean, you can read it on my face. I mean, I don't really need to say what I feel here. You feel the same way. I know you do. Oh, Geeky Panda, you know the feat. That's how you ended up here, I would bet. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I can show lots of things on Instagram except my wee wee. Who uses that term anymore? My wee wee? Oh my God, we're going down the tubes here. Oh my goodness, the Heinz video ketchup mayo, all those rare sauces. I don't know, rare or something. Let me. The 80s, literally, important to embrace one's bite. Yes, it is. Oh, those Heinz sauces. I don't know why my brain is just like in 4 places at once right now. Please forgive me. The sauces video, those were interesting. Those were very interesting. I think, Greg, we've thrown all those sauces away, haven't we? Yeah, they all expired. I'm having trouble right off the top of my head remembering if I liked any of them or not. I think I liked the mayo chup, of course. I don't think I liked the Cranch. The mayo Q was, it was okay. But honestly, you could just take your favorite barbecue sauce and mayonnaise and mix them and be done with it. You don't really need pre-made thing unless you're really honestly just have no time and just are making something, you know. I mean, people have been mixing condiments together for years. I mean, it's not like it was anything revolutionary or not, but they were interesting items to try, and we tried to get some views, and well, we may have gotten some views, who knows, but then again, my generation gave us the Emojis movie. That was a fever dream. Oh my God. I've not seen the Emoji movie. I heard it was kind of so no. My media watching time is precious, and I am very, very picky when it comes to that sort of thing. So I'll leave it there. I initially discovered the channel from your Instagram, but it wasn't from any cheeky photo. Well, doesn't really matter. You're here, and I'm glad you're here. So, have you done your census form yet? Yes, we did do that about 3-ish weeks ago. We got it and went online and did it, and we have taken care of that. No problem. So we have done our duty with the census. So there. And it's really important, if you haven't gotten your census form yet, if you live here in America and you've not gotten your census form yet, please do it, because everything matters with the census, you know, to be counted and to make sure your neighborhoods, localities, whatever, get the proper amount of representation, funding, etc., etc., etc. Have you guys been watching the Clone Wars? It's so good. No, we have not been. I've not really gotten that deep into those Star Wars series. I mainly have watched just the big movies. I know it's there, and I know a lot of people like it, but my fandom doesn't run that deep with Star Wars as it does with Star Trek. Kubo and the Two Strings. No, I have not seen that one. Let me, because I want to give you a great representation here, or of my opinion. See, Kubo and the Two Strings, a 2016 film by Travis Knight. This looks like anime. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it that or not, but it's just animation. Feudal Japan, 12-year-old. I don't really watch a lot of these types of movies. It's not in my wheelhouse of types of films that I enjoy watching. So I'll just leave it at that. You know, I cannot profess an opinion on a movie that I have not seen. See, I was really yeah. Rich and Jason make a very good point that the whole thing about they're trying to erase us LGBT people from the census, and that angers me so much. It has angered me for quite a long time. Ugh. That's why the election matters this year, folks. And I'm preaching to the choir in this chat, but please vote. Please vote, and get that moron out of office. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, they kind of went downhill as they went along. The first couple were great. For some reason, I just was not drawn to the third film, even though I own a copy of it and it's on the shelf back there. Well, wait a minute. Wait a second. I have seen bits and pieces of it, because it was in one of the syndicated movie packages last year, and it played on one of the stations I was monitoring one day. So, of course, when there's a program on that looks halfway decent, of course, I'm going to watch it, because, you know, I'm monitoring the programming anyway, so you get to watch it, you know. I can say that I'm paid to watch television, and that's true, but I have to watch what's on the station that I'm monitoring is the thing. I don't have a choice in the matter. I don't choose the programming. Unfortunately, I was not surprised. Non-binary is another road to this country. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Read that comment from CC Kirby. We have a long way to go. A long way to go. But I think we'll get there. I really think we'll get there. I've not lost all hope yet. Any favorite anime? Anime's not really in our wheelhouse. We're more in terms of classic traditional animation like Looney Tunes, Popeye. Greg loves Disney animation, all that sort of thing. That is that's more in our wheelhouse. So we're more of like vintage animation of the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, that sort of thing. Okay. Nice of you to be here, Geeky Panda. You stay safe as well. Mwah, love you. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Keep following me on Instagram. Good night. Yeah, the Gwen Stacy stuff. I think that's really what the problem I had. A problem with in that movie is just like, so why is this a love triangle? Who's this other person? I mean, can you not come up with another great character for Peter Parker to fight? Maybe that's what it was. I mean, I can't say for 100% sure, you know. I don't know. Twitter recently tried guessing your gender in your setting. I was not aware of that. Yeah, I think Twitter might have gotten a lot of backlash on that, if I remember correctly. Emo Peter Parker is a god. Oh my god. Tobey Maguire is handsome. I will say that. Younger Tobey Maguire was just so handsome. And I could just let me have a go at him. That's Gwen Stacy deserved better as a character. Well, I guess I could see that, you know. I'm silent. I don't know what's going on. I'm curious if you're great. Okay, I've answered that. Emo Peter Parker. Yeah. So, I know I was joking. Came out again recently. Tried doing it again because Twitter just loves backlash. Yeah, Toby M equals Dreamboat. Now, he's not. Now, I will say Tobey Maguire is not the most handsome person in the world. There are lots of people here in this chat that are just as handsome as Tobey Maguire, you know. So, no one going to talk about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is handsome. I mean, I saw the first of those two movies. It was okay. It wasn't anything memorable. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, it was just... I think it was more blasé of a Spider-Man film for me, you know. Then again, Spider-Man's not my favorite superhero of all time. I mean, I'm not sure what my favorite superhero is compared to Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or etc., etc., etc. Even Deadpool, if you want to call him. I don't know, you wouldn't call Deadpool a superhero. He's more of like a sarcasm anti-hero. That's all I have to say about that. See, do you Greg like making salads? Potato salad, pasta salad? Oh, of course. Greg makes just a plain salad for me for my lunch most days and work. I cannot remember. Greg, have you ever made potato salad before? No, he has not. I didn't think he did. Pasta salad? No. See, there's things we can try in the future, you know. I mean, I cannot remember if he likes Italian dressing or not. Do you like Italian dressing, Greg? So you see, pasta salad involves Italian dressing. So we could try a pasta salad. There you go. There's a possible Greg's Kitchen in the future, you know. And I'm also almost out of popcorn bites. Just the last couple here. You see, these are good snacks, you know. Not healthy for you, they're good snacks. Oh, the X-Men, of course. I did, and I said it in the Deadpool 2 review way back when. I'm fairly sure I said it in that video. That I love that moment in Deadpool 2 where he mentions where are all the other X-Men, and you see them in that room and they just shut the door. I thought that was so awesome. His constant complaints about the budget. We couldn't afford one X-Man. Scary movies or scary stuff in general. Well, we can watch horror. You know, horror doesn't offend us or anything. We can watch a horror film. I remember there's a couple of times we went to watch a screening of the original Friday the 13th from 1980. And people were laughing at most of the kitschy jokes and laughing at most of the kitschy screaming that I kind of like, oh, come on. They did the best with what they had, you know. I didn't say that out loud. That's what I was thinking to myself. Yeah, some of the jokes were corny for that film. And I mean, it was a low-budget film. It was an attempt by Paramount, more or less, to recapture the same formula of Halloween, and that success, a low-budget, independent-looking horror film to launch another franchise, which it did, you know. I forget what I know Halloween was made on a budget of $300,000. I don't know what the budget was on the first Friday the 13th. I could look that up. Now I'm curious. Friday the 13th. 1980 film. The budget was $550,000 and it made $59 million almost $60 million in the box office. So there you go. You know, it was exactly like another Halloween, you know. The popcorn bites are the best. Well, you know, I prefer just the original chicken myself, you know. I mean, they're okay, you know. I mean, it doesn't help that they're cold right now. Now, it's real weird that you bring up Friday the 13th, the first 4 films. Okay, that wraps that up. Regarding the popcorn bites, it's not just sorry to throw in the towel on the live stream yet. As I've mentioned before, I had a YouTube channel that was just me. That I've had it for a long time. It is still there. There are just no videos visible on it, and all the old videos are still there that I did originally. I tried doing a YouTube series at the beginning of 2009. As a matter of fact, it was in my old efficiency apartment that I lived in for most of my time in college. And the place was a mess. I mean, I wasn't a hoarder or anything. It just, anyway, I did that very first video, and it was the only video I did in that locale. It was, I think it was late 2008 when I actually did it. But the first movie I reviewed was Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, which is part 5 of the series. But they didn't emphasize the 5 so much on the, or at the release of the movie. It's only retroactively become known as Part 5. I mean, oh, I need to see Wonder Woman. Yeah, I keep meaning to watch that movie. Ugh, that's one that has been on my list of stuff to watch. But I think people should be excited for this film coming out, because I am all for strong female superheroes that are positive and inspiring, and etc., etc., etc. Everything positive, you know. I mean, yes, by all means, everyone should be excited and pumped for it. Yes. See, The Invisible Man. I wondered how good that movie was. I remember seeing all the trailers for it. The Shining. That's a great movie. I love that movie. I loved all those Mountain Dew commercials lately with Bryan Cranston and Tracy Ellis Ross. Just tries. Ah! Oh. I have diet, and that was 0 sugar, but well, you could that comment right there from CC Kirby is what I'm commenting on. Part 5 was interesting for that. It's kind of like what they tried to do with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, except Halloween 3 was a good concept, but it fit terribly into the Halloween franchise. I mean, if John Carpenter wanted to make a movie about something different, he should have just made it and called it something completely different, instead of trying to shoehorn it into the Halloween franchise like he did. I mean, I understand what he wanted to do. He just wanted to capitalize on the name of the franchise. It just didn't mesh real well. Dudley from Different Strokes is in part. That's right. That is right. I forgot about that. I have not seen that film since I reviewed it way back when. I mean, but I noticed all sorts of weird things in films, like Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. A lot of that music score was tracked music, reused music from the first 3 movies. You know? Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you mean, Gilbert and Troy. The Silver Shamrock commercial. Now, which I own a cassette of the soundtrack. It is buried in a box somewhere in our office room. But that song is definitely on that soundtrack. Happy, happy Halloween. Oh, no, I'm not going to sing that. I'm not going to sing that. I'm going to put it in your brains, and then melt all the children's brains, which is essentially what that whole thing was. That they put on all the masks, and they has the thing in it, the Silver Shamrock medallion, and they play the tone over the commercial and melt all the children's brains. That was the sinister plot of the movie. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I definitely remember that. And what's his face that was in that? I cannot remember his name right off the top of my head. It couldn't stop it. No. Yeah, maybe it could have just called it Season of the Witch. I don't know. I mean, it would have been good as a standalone movie. I mean, that's really, really my opinion. And I'm just gonna sit back and relax here for a moment. You know, let me pull the microphone a little closer so you can hear me. Oh, that's better. You know, we've got to relax. You know, because I have this nice sized couch here that we paid X amount of dollars for. Honestly, we got this couch from Big Lots, which is it wasn't a bad value. You know, you don't need the most expensive thing in the world. You know, as long as it's comfortable and you like it, that's all you really need. But we do plan on replacing this couch after we move with something a little larger and that can hold guestesses. Actors that you would never expect to see in horror. That's a fair point, you know. Part 6 has Horshack from Welcome Back Kotter. Completely bizarre role. He gets killed by Jason in the beginning while screaming like Horshack. Oh yeah, that the rain in the cemetery scene, if I remember correctly. They're trying to dig up the grave of somebody, if I remember correctly, at the beginning of that movie. Because part 5, was it part 5 or part 6, where I think it was part 5, where we didn't really have Jason at all. It was just someone who thought he was Jason and trying to take on his persona and whatnot. It was the kid from part 4 that went completely off the rails and crazy. That was just, oh. Yes, that's the scene. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then at the end of 6, Jason ends up chained to the bottom of that lake. And part 7, they find him and unchain him. You know. Don't get me started on part 8. Tommy Jarvis, that's the name of the kid. Yeah. Tommy Jarvis wanted to make sure Jason was dead. Dumb idea. Dumb idea. But then again, you have to have a plot catalyst in a horror film. And it's always a dumb thing. A really, really dumb thing. Blumhouse and New Line Cine are practically the best studios for horror films. Now, you know, one idea we've had to do something live, and you guys tell me whether you think it's a good idea or not, because you're probably the audience to do this sort of thing. We would do this at like maybe during this time, or maybe like a late night movie on like a Friday or a Saturday night or something, like at midnight, 12:30 at night, maybe not. But we thought of taking like an old public domain movie that's terrible and just watching it along with you guys and riffing on the movie as it's going out. Obviously, it'd have to be public domain because we don't want to get into a copyright problem and whatnot. So what do you guys think of that idea? Paranormal Activity, first one was one of the scariest ones I've seen in a while. Sleep with the lights on that night. One of our stations lately has played a couple of the Paranormal Activity movies. I don't care for them personally. I don't care for most found footage movies. I mean, I remember seeing the Blair Witch Project when it first came out, and I was like, boy, I really want those 2 hours back. You know, it just was not... I didn't like it. I really did not like it. I thought it was... Yes, it looked different. It was something different. I'll give it that, but it just... I didn't like it. I mean, I just didn't like it. Part 8 is so frustrating, period. You could stop right there. It doesn't... When you just look at the title, Jason Takes Manhattan, you're like, okay, now they're grasping at straws, and pass. You know, move on. But then they did Jason 10, Jason in Space. I didn't even watch that movie. The poster looked hokey. And if the poster looks hokey, you're not pulling me in. I'm sorry, advertising matters. I mean, look at the movie Mallrats, for example. The great Kevin Smith movie Mallrats. I didn't find it till it came out on home video. And I very much was of an age that I couldn't have watched it. I was only 15, and it was rated R, so I couldn't have watched it in the theater. But let's say I was 17 and was able to watch it, I wouldn't have known it was there because, as Kevin Smith puts it, the picture company, Gramercy Pictures, couldn't market the film out of a wet paper bag. And it was only in theaters for 2 weeks. So marketing matters when it comes to movies, you know. And it still does. Even marketing has changed these days to social media, it being buzzworthy and whatnot. trailers on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. I don't even go down the list of things, but yeah. Handmaid's Tale, different kind of horror, but almost too realistic. I've heard that. I've heard that about that series, and maybe we'll get around to that sometime if we ever get through all the other stuff we need to watch. Well, we're not going to do Mystery Science Theater 3000 per se, but the same germ idea. Yeah, go for it. Okay. Honestly, we had the idea towards the end of our days in college when we were doing a couple programs for our college TV station. I mean, we did our game show, obviously, and we did a cartoon series of public domain cartoons, which we did on-camera introductions for, and I wish I didn't look as fabulous as I do now back then. I obviously didn't have the beard then. Then again, in the early days of this channel, I didn't have the beard. But we had that idea. We're going to call it Worst Movies Ever. And we wanted to do it live. We wanted to do it as a live show. Because that's one thing we had not done on that sort of form. Of course, we've been live on campus television doing news, but we wanted to do a kind of live, loose kind of a show and whatnot. But we'll look at it, you know. Bucket of Blood. A Bucket of Blood with Burt Convy and Dick Miller. I'm going to ask Greg for clarification. The movie A Bucket of Blood. Can you find out if it's in the public domain? Are you there, Greg? Yeah. Okay, he's on it. Embarrassed at a scene in Jason X. Which scene? I mean, was it the inevitable people screwing scene that you find in a horror movie? I mean, I will freely admit to something. I kept wishing in horror films that I watched that, yeah, it's rated R. I kept wishing for male nudity. I cannot deny my biology, you know. What's that? It is not in the public domain. Okay. It is under copyright. Okay. Thank you, Matt, for coming by. Thanks for coming in. You take care and stay healthy as well. Good night. The Babadook. I'm not familiar with that one either. It's a scene where he freezes a girl's head cryogenically and then slams it on the table. Yeah. With the movie tech of the late 90s or the early 2000s when that movie came out, yeah, I don't think that could be pulled off really well. I mean, a lot of films are trying to go towards doing digital effects rather than practical effects, and it took a while for the computer effects to catch up to the quality of what optical effects should do. Optical effects are, in my opinion, still the way to go. I mean, if I remember correctly, the last Halloween that came out did a lot of the effects were practical, real effects. And it was great that way. I love the last Halloween movie that came out. I love that movie. I surely did. A Bucket of Blood. That movie is such a riot. We might watch it anyway, you know. I mean, does anyone remember the Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn? Oh God, the shot-for-shot remake? Oh my God, no. I will not touch that with a 10-foot pole because Hitchcock is a very favorite director of mine. I need to see the rest of his movies. You do not touch Hitchcock. Do not ever remake anything of his. Ever. Period. I will stand by that statement in any open court. One of my favorite film studies classes, film studies was my minor in college, my favorite classes was just a class where we'd watch a Hitchcock film and just talk about it, and that was one of my favorite classes. I had a lot of favorite classes in college, I loved my time in college because I was at a point in my life to where I was just wanting to learn and absorb information, and I'm in debt for it, but who isn't? Lifeboat was a great movie. Rear Window was a great movie. Oh, no, come here. There's a kid in the window. I'm referring to The Simpsons, of course. Yeah, how that movie was so good, I mean, it was great to see Jamie Lee Curtis back in her role as Laurie again, and she just hadn't missed a beat whatsoever. I mean, I think there are great parallels between Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie and Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies, but I cannot bring myself to watch that last Terminator movie because of the bad reviews it has gotten. But who should I be to listen to naysay reviewers, but I had a bad taste in my mouth from that previous Terminator movie. It was just a mess. It was a mess of a movie. I mean, good Lord. If you have to give a roadmap to people to let them know what time period you're in, oh, it's like Chief O'Brien said in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I hate temporal mechanics. I still wonder how they did it with all those birds in his movie. That is a very good question, and I wish I had the answer to that. I mean, that was just that. Hitchcock was one of a kind. There's not another filmmaker like him, I mean, I have a book, the book Hitchcock Truffaut. I need to read that book because that's an epic meeting of two great filmmakers. Truffaut is just as great as Hitchcock. Of course, Close Encounters is one of my favorite movies of all time with Truffaut in it as Lacombe. Of course, he's so easy to cheer for. I mean, favorite horror movies. Well, that's a very short list, There aren't a lot of horror movies I do like. There are a lot of horror movies I have not seen, I've, outside of Halloween and Friday the 13th and maybe the first couple of Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I've not seen a lot of horror out of that. Okay, bye Rich, bye Jason, bye Rich. Nice of you to come by. Much love to you, Jason. Stay safe up there in Detroit. Watch out for the neighbors. Eyes Wide Shut. That's one I've not seen in a long, long, long time. Kubrick is another one you do not touch. I mean, Kubrick's one of those filmmakers right up there with Hitchcock, Truffaut, and many other directors that you just do not touch. I mean, there may be a bad horror film or two in the public domain out there. I have to go back and look in my files for that list we made. I know some movies we had on that list. Definitely Plan 9 from Outer Space was on that list. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians was on that list, if I remember correctly, and several others. The file with the proposals deep in our archive of files somewhere, Bye, Saul. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it very much. I'm going to have to wrap up this chat very soon because I've got another chat I've got to go to at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to start to wrap it up here. I need to take a little bit of a bathroom break before I get into the other chat that I'm wanting to go to. So we've been going at this for almost an hour and 45 minutes now. So Caligula made by Penthouse. I've heard of that. Talk about crazy, but it draws you in for some obvious reasons. There supposedly is a lot of male nudity in that, and I'm for one wish Hollywood would get over male nudity. Oh, I'm going to play some games on Zoom at 9 with a friend of mine and Greg's, and we're going to play Deal or No Deal and all of that. It's a private chat, so nothing I can share with you guys. But it's just really fun, de-stressing and all that, and I really do like all of that. Plus, we just can't keep going all night here, I mean, we've all got to go eat and whatever. As much as I would like to keep going, I mean, who's gonna watch almost 2 hours of this live stream? I mean, it'll be up on the channel, Yes, there is. Yes, I mean, let's face it. We're all. I don't want to make assumptions about people I don't know too well in the room, but all of us who are gay here, want to see some penis on the screen. I mean, come on, really want to see some ass on the screen. I mean, well, you see more asses than penis, I mean, but what is wrong with seeing a penis on the screen? I mean, I understand that if it's flaccid, it's okay. I can understand that you shouldn't see a hard penis on the screen, because then you're going into pornography areas. But I think there are movies out there that are pushing the boundaries, and that is good. Like I loved Rocket Man with Taron Egerton. I love the fact that they were unabashed on showing two men making love in that movie, and there are other movies that show that sort of thing. Just even two men kissing, like Love, Simon was a great movie. We're going forward, and movies have got to continue to go forward and stop excluding same-sex relationships. Same for women, I'm not going to exclude women for transgender characters and everything. Please, yes, preach more, please, Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood needs diversity. Hollywood needs diversity. Now, there's another show I need to watch, Westworld. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the human body. What's your favorite movie? That is not an easy question to answer. I could give you a list of like 10 films that I think might qualify, but I don't have a lot of time to do that because I'm winding down to the end here. I may make a video on that in the future. Thank you, and thank you for coming by, Java BP. All right, so that is all for now. I'm going to go ahead and end it all for this chat. And thank you very much for joining us. We'll do another one of these very soon in the future. And we'll let you know. Keep watching. Stay safe, everyone. Please be careful. Listen to the science. And be healthy, everyone. Okay. Good night, everyone. Take care and goodbye.